All right, let's do this. All right, so hello everybody. My name is Becca, and welcome to the stream. And I'd like to start this off by saying this is our interview number 6 of Mental Health Awareness Week, and I myself am a mental health advocate, and I am one in five that suffer with a mental issue, condition, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to put a title and stigma to it. And this is why it's important to me, and this is why I am a mental advocate because I suffer, and I know the struggles, I know the triumphs after the struggles, and just to do it all over again, it makes me such a strong person. And let me just say that anybody that ever suffers with anything from anxiety to diagnosable bipolar or whatever it may be, none of us asked for this. And it took me 10 years suffering in silence to get to this point. And this is why I'm doing this. I personally gain nothing from doing these streams and doing these talks. And during the live stream, if you donate to Cash App or PayPal, 100% of those proceeds go to NAMI, which is the National Alliance of Mental Illness, and they provide a lot of resources, and it's nami.org, or you can donate directly to them. They have a donation site there. I feel very strongly and passionately about this. And this is why I have handpicked people to do interviews because, I mean, I know the struggles and I talk to people, and I've learned that I can't do life alone, and neither can you. And this gentleman on right now is one of the people that has been a tremendous asset to me and helped me so much. And we go way, way back to, gosh, probably 10 years old, maybe. Childhood friend. I mean, I don't remember hanging out at birthday parties, and I don't remember very much, but I remember his presence being there, and we reconnected, maybe a year and a half ago on Facebook, and it took me about 2 weeks to remember who he was. He was like, "Trust me, I never forget a face. I know you." And I'm like, it took me 2 weeks to figure it out. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I know who you are." And then it's just been blessing after blessing after that. So I'm going to give him an opportunity to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about him and what his title is. Go ahead.
Hey, my name is T Rex. I run Two Factor Media, which is a podcast network, and our main two focus is to love God and love people. And so I just use that platform to help people come on that feel like they don't have a voice in the world to just showcase their talent or whatever they would like to discuss on my show. I've been doing podcasting for over 9 years, and it is a blessing to be able to have that kind of platform to help each other because we all have mental health because we are human. So I know people feel like that mental health is a taboo topic, but it's not because we all struggle from something, and it is good to have an outlet like this to be able to come on and talk about mental health.
Sweet. And I do have some questions for you if you don't mind. So if you don't mind, just kind of let us in a little bit. Tell us 5 things about yourself.
Well, I'm pretty driven. Um, when I have a task that I need to complete or someone asks of me to do something to help them, I make sure I execute everything that in my power to help. So I'm kind of like a bulldog when it comes to tasks. Um, I like video games. I grew up playing video games from my parents. My parents were playing Atari when I was in diapers, and it was just fascinating to be able to incorporate video games, and that also helps with mental health as well too, because rather than going out in the streets or just doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. Video games is a good outlet to have. You play anything as far as fantasy or role playing games, sports, you name it. It has a lot of value to help with taking your mind off of things. Also, I love to hike. Hiking has I did it as a child when I was in Boy Scouts, and I didn't start hiking it again until almost 30 years later. But just the joy of hiking, I miss that thrill of just to be out in God's country, just to kind of find yourself. It's a mental toll at times when your body's breaking down. So that is a good thing that I love to do. Um, I love being a dad. I have 5 children. I have 2 that had just graduated from high school. I have 3 more to go. So I'm looking forward to that. My children are my joy. The ages range from 8 to 19 years old. So I got to stay hip and on top of things because of that diversity of the ages. I got to know what my 19-year-old is doing and also my 8-year-old. So I kind of have to bridge the gap and kind of keep up with what's going on in our generation today. Another thing I like to do is basically I love to talk. Used to get in trouble for it when I was in school. I remember going to Valley Junior and I was voted as most talkative 2 years in a row, 7th and 8th grade year. I kind of felt embarrassed, like, man, people really think I talk too much. But if you look at it now versus then, this has turned into a platform to where my talking has helped people. Not only help people, it's helped myself too. And see, the last thing, I definitely love the Lord. Just don't know. I'm 41 years old, and I could tell you I've been through a lot. And some of it was good, and some of it was not so good. But the Lord was always there for me. So that's 5 good things about me that you all know now.
That made me giggle. I believe every word of it. What in the world? Thanks for sharing, by the way, and thank you for being
No
here.
problem.
So my next question for you is, what do you think mental health is?
Well, mental health is just like physical health. It's just the embodiment of our thoughts, just pretty much our attitude and just how we perceive and take in information. It's very important on how we interact with people, what we watch, and everything, because usually when we indulge in media, which that can be video games, watching TV, or being on our phones, a lot of that stuff is soaked into our mental health like a sponge. And a lot of times we might not react to it, or we may become desensitized to things that our mental health takes in, and then when that event happens, it triggers something in our mind, and sometimes it can startle you because you don't realize that you had those kind of emotions toward that event or toward that situation. So it's very important that you treat your mental health as if you go into the gym to work out, because in our society, mostly that you'll see is gyms. Go get this gym membership, get in the gym, get fit and everything, but you really don't see anything about emotional gyms, getting yourself stronger mentally, because we face things every day and everybody has a different problem. And so that's the difference with all of us. We all have problems, but the problems may be different. So I just look at mental health as just overall aspect of the mind, as far as thoughts, just having the attitude from your personality. And it's very important that we take care of our mental health today, especially with the pandemic going on and things seem out of the norm right now. And so now this is a new time to reevaluate ourselves and our mental health to see where we are versus when times are much pleasant.
I agree with that. So you kind of answered my next question, which was, do you think mental health is important and why? Do you have anything else to add to that?
Well, yes, it's always important, and I know different communities and different culture. Uh, People may express mental health more than others, but there's nothing wrong reaching out to people. Um, we all are here together. We all come from different walks of life, but at the same time, we all have something in common. We all are human. We all have mental health. So, if you feel like needing help, or if I need help, just reach out to someone. There's hotlines you can call. If there's any family members or friends, or even talk to a stranger that you may feel that would listen to you and may guide you or give you some credible advice that you can have to take with you and kind of just help you grow. So mental health is very important, because without mental health, we really don't have anything else, because our mind controls everything else, as far as our physical, emotional, spiritual thoughts. So it's very important to take care of your mental health.
All right. So, do you think, I mean, you've already said that we all have something mental going on, but my question is, do you think that mental health issues are common?
Of course, um, you had to factor in different variables, like whatever goes on in your household might not go in my household. But um, there are proper ways to decipher what the information that's going on, or the people around you. And so it's something, if you could tap into your mental health, but know the triggers that makes you happy or makes you sad or depressed. If you could figure out the triggers that's causing that, you have already won, or you're already a step ahead in the mental health game. So then once you know that, you know how to control your emotions better, or have a better attitude, or be able to work on some things. And so we all are faced with some kind of mental issues. And just like I always tell my friends or anybody want to listen to me, um, we all have problems, and we all have, and it might be common problems that we have. And don't feel like we are trapped, or we are in that corner where we can't get out. And people do feel that way sometimes, and that's why that leads to other things, or drastic situations that we feel sad about, or we'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe that this happened to this person. But it's all because of that trapped feeling. I used to feel that way too. When I got anxious, or get anxious still, sometimes I feel like I'm in a corner, and I feel like there's no one to turn to. But I tell you this, probably since I turned 40 years old, I really have grown a stronger relationship with God. And so I have always grown up in the church. My family is teachers and preachers pretty much. So, but at the same time, I was still trying to get a feel for myself, and living free will or whatever. But get more into my spiritual side once I got in my 40s has really helped with dealing with mental health issues, and also open up on a platform like this, because used to I didn't want to talk about this in public, or even talk about it with my closest friends or family. I always kept it inside. But having that confidence now, and having the Holy Spirit in me and everything, I'm able to share my views and the experiences that I have dealt with mental health.
Right, right, right. I'm agreeing with. See my head nod. I had to mute my mic because I'm like in church. Right, right. Oh shoot. So, why do you think that there is such a stigma about mental health issues?
Well, if you look at the mass media or the for-profit media, certain people or certain entities look at that as a sign of weakness. And so people feel like, well, man, I can't really express myself or tell you how I feel, because my peers or what I see on TV makes me feel weak or inferior. So I want to just keep this all inside, and I can deal with it myself. but you don't realize, keep all that stuff in your, inside yourself, just continue to grow and grow even more, and that pressure builds to the, the point, when pressure builds, the pipes burst. But pressure also makes diamonds too. So you had to look at it that way. That's the stigma that I feel like our society, our pop culture gives to people that uh, does come out saying that, hey, I need some help, I'm not mentally well, or whatever. And you know how it is uh, when you say that, some people want to laugh at you, call you weak or you soft and everything. So that's why a lot of people don't come out about it until there's a tragedy or something that has hit home, and then now you are aware that, wow, I didn't know, person A or person B was feeling this way. I wish I had known. I'm sorry that I shamed that person. And so you don't realize that words hurt too. I know in school we used to say that words never hurt us or whatever. Sticks and stone may break my bones, but words also hurt too. Especially if you're around people and you feel like you can't express yourself, then you might have to evaluate the people that you hang around with. Because if you can't express yourself, then why are those type of people in your life? And so that's the stigma that we need to try to remove. Try to find people that may be coming to you or have experienced some of the things in life that you have experienced. And that way you can sit down and talk about it and then remove that stigma. And then you have the confidence to be able to speak out, because you might have someone that's going through the same thing you're going through, doing the exact same thing, don't want to speak out. But they see, hey, we see this person is speaking out about it. Now I feel more comfortable coming out and talking about it as well too, to make awareness of it. And then that way you can grow that conversation, and you never know what can come from having a conversation about your stigma or your issue that's going on.
Right, right, right. It's like a peer pressure, the people you surround yourself with is who will be your influencer, who you'll be more like. And if
Right,
you start talking about it, then it'll soften other people and make them aware that this is normal too. People just don't talk about it because there's so much hate and judgment in the world, and that's got to stop. That cycle needs to stop.
right.
Okay, my last question for you is, this is a helpful one. How do you think we as a community can help those who are suffering with mental illness or don't even know that they're suffering, but we see it?
Well, I know for me personally, I know we like to post Facebook pictures, going on vacation, or just have a plate of food or whatever. But then you also see those posts where you seeing people reaching out, or they throwing little nuggets out there, like, there's something off about that post, or I know that this person, and they usually don't post this. So personally, I reach out to people like that to say, hey, everything's gonna be okay, or how are you doing? Usually I don't say everything's gonna be okay first if I don't know what's going on. But I'm like, if you need to talk, my platform is always open, or you can always reach out to me or whoever. So um, that's pretty much how I approach it. I know a lot of times people try to hide it sometimes that they are going through things, but you can, if you have a great sense or a feel for people, you can pick up on that vibe regardless if they smiling or you see them out having a good time. You can just feel that inner vibe or that chemistry, but like something is not off, even though they appear to be happy. It's just something not right. So, rather than putting them on the forefront or putting all this stuff out in public on Facebook or whatever, pull that person to the side, or you send them a message or whatever, or give them a phone call. Hey, you want to have lunch? Let's go meet. Let's sit down and talk about this. And so you have a great platform to reach out to people, not just publicly, but also privately too, because we like to have our privacy, and a lot of times the things that we go through, we don't want to share it with the public. So, just be aware of tendencies, because we all have tendencies. We all have a routine, and so anytime you see that routine is off, just a tad bit, just reach out and, hey, how you doing? Is anything going on? You don't even have to acknowledge that, hey, I know I see you struggling, but you can do that too. It's just whatever you feel inside at that moment. And usually when I approach people like that, I pray about it first, make sure that's what God wants me to do. Because sometimes God don't want you to do anything, but just be still. But uh, to come back to your question there, that's pretty much how I handle about reaching out to people and to help with the mental health issue.
That's strong right there. That's a good way. That's exactly the way that I approach it myself. And it's good to hear that somebody else thinks the same way. Sometimes it's not even worth, you'll see a post like you said, and people will say that they're there. If you need me, contact me. But you got to go beyond that
Right.
and go to their private message and say, I'm here. I can listen. Sometimes we just need somebody to listen.
Yes.
Do you have anything else in closing to add to this before we finish?
No, basically, I do want to say thank you for allowing me to be on your platform. You're always welcome to come on Two Factor Media. When we do our podcast, because, like I said, we love God and we love people and we love to help everybody. And I definitely want to give special thanks to my Lord and Savior, also my fiance, my kids, my dad. This year has been unbelievable. I lost my mom almost 4 months ago, and my dad has his health issues. But I know that all of this that is going on, I'm going to have a testimony from it as well. It's definitely making me stronger and even more mature. There's some areas that I wasn't so mature, but I'm gaining that now through everything that's going on in 2020 and also with the pandemic. So, one thing I just want to say, don't ever give up. As long as you have breath in the body, there's always hope. I always reach out to somebody. If it's, like I said, there's plenty of hotlines, there's plenty of people across this world that's willing to listen and help in any kind of way. And so don't feel like you're alone, because you're not alone. We are all in this together. And together, there's strength in numbers, and we can do so much more if we all can come together and just put our differences to aside. We can agree to disagree, but beyond that, we don't have to discredit anybody or shame someone for feeling some kind of way, because we all have opinions, and our opinions don't always match up. So that's probably my closing statement about mental health, that we all are here together. So if you need to reach out to me, you can always you can search Two Factor Media or T-Rex, TEERECX, on all the social media platforms. I use Twitter, Instagram, Facebook mostly. So if you ever need to reach out to me, that's where you can find me. And there's anything I can do to help make the world better or make your day better, I'm willing to accept that challenge.
And you said that in chat, he means it. Thank you so much for your willingness, and just, it's weird to say, but thank you for your life experiences, but your mentality, the way you approach life. And that's why I asked you on here. You're good people's man.
I appreciate that. You are too.
Mm. All right. Well, that's it, man. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate you. I'm going to end it here.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.